Hello everyone, welcome. My name is Adam. Welcome back to a P3D video. And in this video, I'm going to show you how you can customize and resolve certain GSX gates or SODE gates issues. Either gates not showing up, not working, or maybe you want a different looking gate. You want to customize your gates. We're going to go through it all here. This is going to be the one-stop shop, you know, gate SODE gate video that you've all been waiting for. So I'm here at Adelaide X in Australia. This is a scenery created by AU Scenery. It's been out since about 2014. It got updated in 2020, and I think the last update was 2021, maybe, I don't know. But it does have GSX integration, but the gates don't function as well as they could. So like, I'm in a 777 from PMDG. I'm actually at a medium gate, so really I should be, you know, over in one of these spots at a heavy gate. So but if I click on, you know, operate jetway, which obviously GSX does work at this airport because this menu wouldn't even come up if it didn't work. But if I click operate jetway, nothing happens. It's like, oh. And I'm sure you've come across this yourself where, you know, the jetway just isn't working. And it's like, well, but if I actually spawned in a 737 PMDG plane, the jetway would connect. And it's like, well, what's so special? Oh, it must be the plane. It must be the way PMDG made the plane. No, it's not the aircraft developer in this case. It's actually maybe the airport developer hasn't completely finished off writing the code for the GSX SODE gate integration, but we can do that very easily right now, and I'm going to show you how. It literally is a couple of clicks of buttons to get this jetway to connect. But first, before I do that, I want to kind of explain a little bit so you have an understanding of what the hell we're going to be talking about for jetways. First off, the jetways, the ability to move a animated jetway, because you get static jetways, they don't move, and you get animated jetways, is nothing to do with GSX. That control of animating the jetway falls under the SODE product. So just because you have GSX installed doesn't mean you're going to get your animated jetways moving. GSX is just a middle person to get the jetway moving if you've installed GSX level 2. GSX level 2 will replace all of your default jetways with GSX modeled jetways. Now, they do animated and they do static, and you can tell it's a GSX jetway if you load into any airport because they look so bloody good. Like, they have edge wear and tear here. The metal looks like metal. I think this is the same model for Microsoft, to be fair. But they look highly detailed, super detailed, very reflective. Like, you can tell that this is a GSX jetway. Now, usually it will just be a metal bridge here. You can go on Sim Market and download something called Cartagena Files, which will give you glass jetways, but I believe GSX has updated this anyway, so it's done internally. But yeah, you can actually customize this jetway as well, which we're also going to show in this video, or I'm going to show. There's no we. I'm here all by myself. So yeah, I'm going to show you how you can not only customize this to make it look completely different, but also how to get it bloody working. So yeah, GSX don't move, like, they're not in control of controlling the jetway. That falls in line with SODE, and SODE does require some files to be placed in a location in order for the jetways to move. Like, just because the developer might have their own jetways in the scenery folder, and in this case this developer didn't. This developer didn't put any jetways in their scenery folder, so they're relying solely on the GSX jetways and then the SODE controller to animate them using GSX, but hasn't finished those final steps, to be honest, to actually link the two. One of the steps is having a file in the virtuali location. So if you go to app data roaming virtuali GSX, you need an ini file, which is a control file to say, okay, we've got gates. Oops, don't want to open it with a notepad. Don't know why that happened. We've got gates in certain positions, and here is you know, what a typical one would look like. Now, it doesn't matter if it doesn't come with it, because you can get this generated by GSX really quickly for free. All you have to do is open up the airport positions customize menu, and when this pops up, literally just make one tick, say like underground refueling. I always kind of like tick that, click apply, and GSX will automatically generate that file here. Okay, now obviously you can see it's been updated because I actually did make a change. So GSX has rewritten this file, which was provided by the senior developer. But if you don't have one of these provided by the senior developer, it don't matter. We can just make it ourselves, like I just showed you there. Now, once this file is in here, it's basically the instructions for GSX to say this is all the functionality at this particular location, at this particular airport. And as you can see, all of them are airport dependent on, you know, you can profile for every airport you want. So it's pretty cool though. So make sure that's in place first. Now, some people will say, oh, well, you actually need a SODE XML and a SODE SIM object file. Well, that's only true if the third-party developer has made their own jetways. So if we go into the C drive, and I believe it's program data, want to be pilots and SODE, you'll have SIM objects and XML. Now, it's not essential that these files are here. As you can see, I haven't got any for this airport for this to work. But if the third-party developer has made their own custom jetways, which a lot of people do, as you can see, like FLIGHTSIM, they make their own normal and static jetways, and this is their model. I'll just show you, just, you know, as a completist. Then, yes, you do need those two files. This is their jetway, which actually looks like shit compared to GSX. I don't know why anybody would want to use this. That is horrendous when you look at that there. So, you know, and if you want to get rid of those, you can. Again, I'm going to show you how to do that here. And then you can replace it with the gorgeousness of GSX, which is constantly being updated, by the way. A lot of developers for airports have abandoned P3D, no longer developing or updating their products. FS Dream teams still are, and so your jetways will have lovely jubbliness to it if you replace all your shitty third-party ones with the GSX ones, and probably have a bit more control over them as well. Anyway, let's get started. So first thing we need to do to get this not only to work but to look a bit bloody beautiful is first off go into the GSX settings. Now I would recommend ticking ignore wingspan when parking. If you have a bloody big plane that goes into a very small parking spot and you don't have this ticked, the woman will kick off at you and things won't, GSX just won't probably work. Although I think that actually it will override and work anyway, even if it isn't, but just tick that to make sure. Secondly, I do recommend getting Airport Design Editor, which I'll put a link down below, and just already got it running, and just have there it is, and just have a look at your airport in Airport Design Editor so you can see what's what. Now this is running real time, so if we scroll down here, we are actually gate 20, and you can see there's a crosshair here because that's where my plane is at this gate, so you can actually check yourself in real time. Now I can't actually click on this because there's a massive bloody exclude box in the way. So if we just shift that out of the way for now, and we'll move it back in a second. we can have a look at this gate just to make sure that everything is as it should be. So this is a medium gate. It has a radius of 75 feet. I'm going to increase that to 85. So the wingspan basically is kind of what this is referring to. Now you can actually, if you don't know, you can actually get GSX to tell you. So here it's got allowed maximum wingspan, and if you click that button it will default to the maximum allowed based on the airplane that is sat at that gate at this precise moment. So 63 meters I think this is done in. Yep. So an airplane, so the 777 must have a wingspan of 63 meters. So basically the max allowed wingspan will be 63. Now that doesn't really make a difference if you've ticked the other box, but it's best just to do this anyway. Now if you want to get rid of the third-party jetways, first off you need to make an exclude. So obviously I'd probably select like clear off, do that, and it will filter parkings with no jetways. So here are all the jetways highlighted, okay, and we are at number 20. So if you want to like get rid of your crappy third party, first off you need to create an exclude, and I'd probably set it to 2 meters, and then just click apply. This now will create a file in the GSX location, and for the GSX exclude it will now say, oh, you've got an update, and you'll need to compile this, but you can't do it when your sim's running. Basically you're creating exclude in GSX to get rid of whatever shitty third-party jetway will be there. Nothing to do with the airport BGL. Now some developers will actually place their jetway, let me click OK on that, will put their jetway actually within the BGL. And if that is the case, you need to come into your BGL, right click and delete the objects, and get rid of those jetways so they don't show up as part of the model. Doing this exclude, I think we'll just exclude that jetway anyway, but it could also exclude other things. So I'd probably just delete the jetway anyway. Also get rid of those files in the sim object and XML location, because they're not going to be needed. Oh, he's off. See you later, Virgin. Right, so now if I try and do a jetway, even though I've added the exclude, nothing happens, because services are oh, it's because I've got the GSX menu open, that's why. Yeah, let me close that off. Right, now if I try and do the jetway after doing the exclude, oh, we've got things appearing here now. So now we've got GSX actually showing up, great, but the jetway still not happening. Right, okay, so well, the next thing we need to do is get this bloody jetway working. So we're going to go to GSX, back to the airport positions. Now if you've got anything happening like catering, passengers loading, you won't be able to bring this menu up. So first things first is just check over here to make sure you haven't got anything that you need ticking. I'm going to tick that. I don't want to disable the staircases. I've got underground refueling, and I mean I could sort of, you know, change this as well, but I won't. Anyway, I'm going to go to jetway. Now here are the jetway options, and basically what you need is a big enough bloody jetway. Now this is a medium gate at the end of the day, and as you can see there's quite a few options to choose from. You've got a 2-tunnel nose loader, which looks like that. You've got the crystal version of it, so it's see-through. You've got the steel version, so it looks like that's probably the one everyone's familiar with. You've got an apron drive 2-tunnel. Ooh, that looks pretty cool. Might use that. And you've got the crystal upper deck, so this one is done for like planes with an upper deck, A380 Queens and all that. You got some other ones here, 3-tunnel corrugated higher. This one, there's a lot to choose from. I mean, you can really have some fun here choosing, but basically if you've got a heavy aircraft, you want to choose the highest one possible. I want a see-through one, to be honest. I want the crystal meth ones. Like, that's pretty cool. We'll have that. And you can also give it a color as well if you want. So we'll just give it a blue. And the bridge now. So if there is a bridge, which this one actually has a little bit of a one, then we can actually give this a custom as well. And as you can see, they come in all different shades and sizes because, well, lighting conditions, I guess, you know. But again, this will only affect if you have got a bridge attached. I don't actually think I do. So this is going to make a difference. So we'll just choose that. And we'll make it green just for kicks. We want a power unit and an air conditioner. We want a logo, and then we want the gate number to also be there. Now, this logo is what is available on your PC. So I think, like, you could put default. I don't know what would happen. I've never done that. But we can, like, American Airlines it, so we can actually have, you know, actual liveries. You know, so like if you're in Ireland, you're going to choose Aer Lingus. We're in Australia, so to be honest, we want Qantas, but there is no Qantas here, which is a little bit weird. They got not a single Qantas here, so that, yeah, is a little bit weird. So basically, I mean, choose what you want at the end of the Alamo. The hell. Choose what you want. Oh, there we go. Auckland. Oh no, that's Auckland Airport. We don't want that. Some of these are actual airports, you know, but some of them are actual adverts. So you kind of want an advert that's relevant for what you're doing, like dollar car rental in Australia. Oh, actually, that would work out. They use dollars, right? We'll have that. Now you can also change. And by the way, this all happens in real time when you change it. It actually makes the change in real time. So now we can also not only do that, but we can actually change, if there's a sign on the gate, we can actually change the color. I'm going to put this to yellow so it stands out. And I think we got bold, style. That will do me. So literally clicking apply, and it does automatically change the details. And if we just swivel around here, and yeah, lovely, got a brand new there's the bridge, the small little bridge. Obviously colors, you can be artistic as much as you want, but basically now we're starting to get a nice bloody beautiful jetway here. Now this won't happen if you're replacing third party, by the way. You do need to compile your BGL first before this will actually bring in, and you need to shut your sim down in order to do it, and then load your sim back up, and you'll have a bloody beautiful GSX gate. But will it connect? No, because we've got the menu open still. So shut down the menu first and try and connect the gates. I doubt it will. Oh, it does. There we go. So now we're connecting. Now, I also would recommend the airport design editor checking, like I did before, this, because if you've got, because GSX is reading this, and if you've got your radius set way too, hang on, that's not me, where am I? Here I am. If you've got your radius set way too big or way too small, then it's just gonna cross over into the next chap's lanes. And yeah, these gates, the heavy gates for this airport here, these four, these were massive circles, and it just didn't give enough room for GSX to pick its nose. So I'm not going to save that, but that's basically how you either get a functioning gate or a replacement beautiful gate, or updating, customizing your own. Now, you don't have to be parked at the jetway to customize. I could literally sit here now, customize all of these, which I'm going to do, to however I like, and still be here. But what you do need to do is you do need to have no services running. So if you do want to customize, you got to get rid of your jetways that are connected and say goodbye to them. Now, let's just do a quick cleanup here, because I know that I'll have a lot of questions down below. If you load into an airport and you have massive red X's instead of a gate, that signifies that there is a third-party jetway there, and that the XML and the sim object file for SODE is not there. So program data, wannabe pilot, SODE, like these files here are missing. If you load in, I had this issue quite a lot, you know, like all my airports, especially UK 2000s, are on another drive. So all the files are on this drive here. But what happens when I reinstall Windows? I lose all these files if I don't save them. If I don't come in to this location and save these two files, I will lose all of my personal jetways because they're on the C drive in program data. And if you're reinstalling Windows and reinstalling your sim, you're going to lose these. You need to save these two folders. If you're reformatting your drive, if you're reinstalling Windows, just to be safe, keep a backup of these files anyway. Or basically even simulator files, I would say. But in terms of what we're talking about, definitely these two. And you'll get a red X if you enter an airport and it can't detect that XML and sim objects location. You know, if you've got nothing in those folders, then SODE's going, yeah, sorry, I can't give you any information, and GSX is going, I don't know, and you'll get a big red X. All you have to do to overcome that is open up your GSX custom airport position. You want to like make a change, underground refueling, jetway exclude, do that, click apply, then open up this to update the exclude file, and then come restart your sim, because you've had to shut it down to actually compile the, you know, this XML, and it is just an XML file, by the way. There is a way to compile gates into a BGL, but I see that as a waste of time, and you're loading more BGLs than you need to. And then open up your sim, come back in, and then set up whatever you want here, and boom, you will then have no X, and that one gate will be fine. You might have to repeat the process in the airport positions for all your gates, or GSX just might, you know, be kind to you and go ahead and do it for you anyway. But basically basically tell GSX we don't want to use those third-party ones. Make sure the BGL is not in the scenery folder either for the jetway, you know, because if third-party airports, they tend to put their jetways in either the AFCAD of the airport or as a separate BGL. So either way, you need to get rid of those jetways completely. And then you will have no more X's, and you'll have your jetways of GSX back, and then you can go ahead and customize to your heart's content. And that's basically it. I think I've covered everything with customizing and fixing jetways. Like, this is a massive common problem in the community, and there's not too many people who have covered it, and loads of people have been asking me about it, so I thought, go ahead, pull the trigger on it, go and do it for them. If I've missed anything or you need any further explanation, please mention it in the comments below. You can also jump into my Discord and hit me up in the help channel for further questions as well, which is where I prefer people, you know, to comment and ask questions, because then other people can see the answer and everybody gets help and we can all go flying. But yeah, this was a right bugbear for me as to why the jetway. I contacted the developer, nothing, he didn't get back to me, so I've got to do it myself then. And hey, we have, and we've got a bloody beautiful jetway at this one that actually I quite like. Yeah, $1. Right, Don't forget, I do give away 50 euros for sim market vouchers every other month. To be in with a chance to win, all you have to be is a subscriber to my channel, leave comments in my videos, and every other month I pick a winner, go live with a vlog, announce it, we have a party, everyone's no, everyone's not high, but everyone's happy, and there we go. Thank you so much for watching, guys. See you in the next one. Bye bye.